Good evening. I want to thank you for taking the time to check out my integrative design project, which is an IT training course called Task. I put a great deal of time and effort into this project and am proud of the result. I'm going to take you through the key components of the design in the subsequent slides, and hopefully you'll get a good feel for the scope and structure of the course. Without further ado, let's begin. Task leverages scenario-based learning in order to impart key skills and knowledge to level 1 technicians, thereby addressing the underlying problem, namely an ineffective support workflow in an IT department due to level 1 technicians not being able to complete their assigned support tasks. There is a critical need for a technician training course, as a team of poorly trained and ineffective technicians can cause a myriad of issues in an organization, including organizational disruption, friction between teams, disgruntled end users, and eventually dissatisfied IT workers, resulting in an increased employee turnover rate. The Task IT training course is designed to meet the primary learning goal, as well as the underlying learning objectives, in order to address the problem outlined in the previous slide. The primary learning goal is defined as follows. By the end of the course, the technicians should have the required skills, knowledge, and experience to be able to contribute meaningfully to an efficient IT support workflow within their organization. The 3 underlying learning objectives revolve around the technicians demonstrating proficiency in key technical skills, soft skills, and reflective thinking skills in order to meet said objectives and complete the training course successfully. In designing the Task IT training course, several strategies were evaluated as the primary learning approach. Scenario-based learning was chosen for its capability to accurately represent a real-world level 1 support context within an online learning environment. Scenario-based learning is based on the principles of situated learning theory, which argues that learning best takes place in the context in which it's going to be used. Scenario-based learning is also based on situated cognition, which states that knowledge is best acquired and more fully understood when situated within its context. Scenario-based learning normally involves learners working their way through a storyline, usually based around a complex and multifaceted problem, which they are required to solve. In the process, learners must apply their subject knowledge, as well as critical thinking and problem-solving skills in a safe, real-world context. Scenario-based learning usually works best when applied to complex tasks and situations. Tasks that are routine to the learners will require little critical thinking or decision-making and may be better assessed using other methods. As part of my integrative project, I've created a working prototype of the Task scenario-based learning activities. I'd like to briefly take you through the first problem-based scenario, titled Identify the Problem. The scenario is divided up into several interactions. Each interaction begins with a video animation. The learner watches as the dialogue between a virtual technician and virtual end user commences. At the end of each interaction, the learner is tasked to choose the correct response. In every interaction, one of the options is the correct response, while the other option is either incorrect or not the best answer. When the correct option is selected, the correct response screen will appear with a confirmation statement offering supporting information and highlighting the skills addressed. When an incorrect option is selected, the incorrect response screen will appear with a reflective question queried to the learner. The reflective question activity is designed to promote continued self-learning by pressing the learner to figure out not only why they got the answer wrong, but to further explore the topic as a whole and to achieve a deeper understanding of the material. Similarly to the incorrect response screen, the not the best response screen offers feedback and a reflective thinking question. For both incorrect and not the best responses, the learners have the capability to immediately replay the interaction in order to select a different option. Once the learner completes all interactions successfully, the scenario concludes. Immediately upon completion, the learner is offered an overall summary of their performance. If they wish, the learners can immediately replay the scenario again or continue to the next section of the course. At the end of the Task training course, learners are presented with a full summary report of their performance. This report is leveraged in a final feedback session between the learner and the task course instructor at the end of the course. Results can be exported via PDF for further offline review. Thank you again for joining me in this brief journey through my integrative project design. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me at eg2965@tc.columbia.edu.